So my name is Zeenat Potia and welcome to Mind the Moment. Thursday is brought to you by Point 32 Health and Tufts Health Plan. I'm really delighted to have this opportunity to spend time with you this morning. My name is Zeenat Potia, and like I mentioned earlier, I'm filling in for Tara Healy. So what I'd like to do this morning is open with just a brief landing meditation practice, just a few minutes to help us arrive into the space and get a sense of things energetically and allow our nervous system to settle a little bit. Then I'll have a question for you and we'll use the chat to share. We'll do a longer guided practice and then we'll close once again with community sharing. So wherever you are and however you are is just exactly the way you need to be. So no need to make a big to-do. Finding some uprightness in the spine and then settling in. Whatever I offer is an invitation. So please feel free to do what is appropriate for you and let go of anything that doesn't resonate or suit you. And the eyes can be open or closed. So landing, arriving in the space. Just going to offer a bell to begin. Notice what you notice. Nothing to change or modify or tweak. Opening to loving awareness. Just this right here and right now. Keeping the practice going. I'd like to offer a quote from Anne Frank. So practicing as you listen, aware of your internal states and aware of what's going on externally. With the sound, taking in the quotation. In spite of everything, I still believe that people are really good at heart. I simply can't build up my hopes on a foundation consisting of confusion, misery, and death. I see the world gradually being turned into a wilderness. I hear the ever-approaching thunder, which will destroy us too. I can feel the suffering of millions, and yet, if I look up into the heavens, I think that it will all come right, that this cruelty too will end, and that peace and tranquility will return again. Anne Frank. Taking your time as you return to the larger group from practice, please feel free to wiggle your fingers and your toes. If you'd like to take a stretch, can be really useful to look away from the screen for a moment, to look above you, below you, around you, just taking in the surroundings with the eyes of equanimity. Okay, welcome back. So let's open it up. I invite you in the chat to share what's alive right now in the feelings realm. How is your heart? So it could be a word or a couple of words or a sentence, really tuning in. And many of you have been part of this community for a while. And so to feel encouraged, to feel like this is a container where you can be yourself and openly share. So just a feelings check-in. And make sure it's going to everyone so we can see your offering, your sharing. I can start us off. I am feeling grounded and curious, and also terrified. Okay, Colleen, that opening hit hard with emotion. I was just at the Anne Frank House and Museum. Thank you. Yeah, it's a sobering quote. Heartfelt tears from the quote. Yes. Feeling a need to find the good and beauty that exists in the everyday. Feeling grateful for hearing the quote, but overall sad at all that is happening. Yeah. The grief, it's a shared grief. Feeling hopeful, and it's a shared hope as well. Yes. The perspective from Anne Frank made me feel hopeful. Yes, there is good out there. There is good out there, and there is good right here. Yeah. To trust the goodness of your own heart is such a powerful thing. In the seat, there is goodness individually, and then goodness, we hold it communally, as a community. Still finding places where I am both angry and sad. Yes. Free-flowing anger, let it rip. Anger is such a teacher. It's useful information that something is awry. And that angry part has a lot of wisdom. If we can speak for it, forgive me, if we can speak, not from it, but for it. Does that make sense? So then with mindfulness, there is some space that we can speak from the angry part, because then the wisdom can come through, rather than from it is just a lot of reactivity. Okay, thank you all for sharing. I feel connected. Let's do some practice together. So however you are, wherever you are, once again, grounding and settling. I cannot overemphasize that in times like these, the emotions that have been named, the formal practice is our solace, our refuge, our anchor. This is when we need it the most, and this is when we're most likely to abandon it. So I really want to encourage you, trust it, trust that, trust the wisdom of 2,600 years that people have been practicing mindfulness. And just give yourself over to it. In my practice this morning at home, it was tempting to stay in bed because it was cold and dark. But I'm so glad that I got up and I practiced. It's not always that way every morning. I try my best. But when I'm able to, I can feel the difference. The benefits, the fruits are very at hand. So let's practice together. And the instructions are fairly straightforward this morning. I'd like you to just stay close to your heart, to those feelings without being overtaken by them. Noticing how they're showing up in the body, breathing, settling, accompanying yourself moment to moment. Stay in embodied mindfulness, stay in your body. Explore moment to moment what's arising and what's passing away. That's the instructions. All within the container of a loving, curious, compassionate heart that can hold our sadness, our joys. It can hold all of it, the full spectrum of being human. keeping the practice going. Just a few more minutes. If you find that you got lost, it's not a problem. The beauty of this path is that we can always begin again. In fact, we are always beginning again. Extending grace and this next moment, harmony of mind, body, and heart, right here. This sensation, this breath, this sound, this emotion, accompanying, tending to, noticing. To close, I would like to reread that quote. So listening with an open heart and mind. Anne Frank. In spite of everything, I still believe that people are really good at heart. I simply can't build up my hopes on a foundation consisting of confusion, misery, and death. I see the world gradually being turned into a wilderness. I hear the ever-approaching thunder, which will destroy us too. I can feel the suffering of millions, and yet, if I look up into the heavens, I think that it will all come right, that this cruelty too will end, and that peace and tranquility will return again. I think that it will all come right, that this cruelty too will end, and that peace and tranquility will return again. Okay. Taking your time as you return. Gradually opening the eyes, feeling free to take a stretch. Thank you for your practice. I really appreciate each of you showing up here this morning. I wanted to sincerely apologize for being human. It was my turn to lead you this past Tuesday, and it has never happened in my teaching career, but it wasn't on my calendar. And I didn't cross-check, and that's why there was no session on Tuesday. So please accept my deepest apologies. I felt really badly about it and had to work with having made a mistake and then being human. So to close, I'd like you to check in with that feeling part that expressed those feelings earlier and name them so courageously. And I'd like you to just drop in a question into your system. What is needed today? What is needed? It's a question that is inherently compassionate. What is needed today? Listening keenly for what arises in response to that. And then please share in the chat what came up, if you feel comfortable. What came up to the question, what is needed today? And I'll share for me, it was, when we ask the question, sometimes the answers can be very direct and very clear. And for me, it was soft and gentle today. And I know I have a lot to do today, so the message is even more precious. It's how to stay engaged and be soft and gentle. Self-care, commitment, connection. Yeah, beautiful. Trust me. I need to take a walk, be outdoors. Beautiful. Yeah, really good. And so then when we've asked the question and you received an answer, it becomes a guide, it becomes a way to remind yourself throughout the day, what was needed, and then see if you can tend to that need to the best of one's ability. We do our best, but it's so good to ask, and then when you get an answer, it's almost like a celebration. Oh, okay. An open heart. Be loving and kind with myself and others. Oh, thank you, Janice. That's very kind of you. Just being loving and kind with me in this moment and forgiving. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Wouldn't it be a miracle if we could bottle that and then offer that to ourselves also? And so that's another kind of lesson, to be able to see ourselves the way others see us, with those eyes of kindness and forgiveness, is a gift too. So thank you for offering that teaching. I'd like to close, given that all of the emotions that were named and these perilous, uncertain times that we find ourselves in as a global community, to it's something we do sometimes. I try to do it often, is to dedicate the merits. It's what it's called in the classical teachings, dedicating the goodness. So when we practice mindfulness, there is goodness that is generated because we're inclining the mind in a wholesome way. And so we can gather up that goodness, bring it into our intentional conscious awareness, and then we can offer it up because we're practicing not just for ourselves. We always begin with ourselves, and it's radically important to do that. And then we're practicing for others. And so I invite you to join me if you wish. Bring to mind a person in your life. It could be you or somebody or a group of people or entire countries, people you don't even know, who are really suffering right now, who could benefit from some fruit, some merit, some goodness. And then freely, with an open heart, we can even do it somatically, we offer it up. We offer it up. May this practice be of benefit. May it lead to more kindness and softness and ease for us and for all beings, without question and without exception. Thank you so much, and I wish you a wonderful day. Be well, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye. Okay. Thank you.